Good morning.
Hello?
Well, howdy.
Is this not coming to do?
No, and Joan isn't coming either.
Whoa.
So,
So we need 3 mats?
a little bit of the, they've just got family in town. You guys are heading next week.
For me, not next week.
I know. So is that just you and Michelle, or are you going with somebody else?
We're going with her brother, Robert, and his wife, Sharon.
So,
Well, we read about COVID in Mexico, and they say if you have to prove that you, before you die on the plane, you actually have to pass the COVID test. You have to stay 14 days. But the question today says we'll do your very best links we can.
kind of like,
Captain Ryan's. But my brother-in-law was going to visit with Dr. recently, and they have this test. So we went to another place and got a different test and passed. Use that when we come back. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
well, and the other thing that is just so wonky about the whole thing, or all these false negatives and false positives, and you're like, and we're okay with that? That happens?
Well, you know, people get flu shots.
Oh, what's the next group on that?
People go to the dentist and die from the shot they get for their teeth. We just don't get the shot.
Yeah.
This
Question about Johnson & Johnson.
said your odds of dying of COVID if you don't get a shot among the same number of women that had blood clots, like 128 times instead of 6.
Yeah.
But life is full of, you take your risks all the time.
Yep.
Every time you drive the car, you get more risk.
Yeah.
Any balls today?
Yeah, we'll use them.
Reading the New York Times newsweek said, this professor every year runs this with the students. If God can give you something, if God come down and give you something and let you go where you've never been before, and work better, enjoy life, and then have access to doctors, which 1,000 people would die if this gift came. Would you take it? And everybody says no. Everybody says that's not enough. We have 40,000 people a year.
Hello,
Hi.
I'm a student.
But you said you weren't coming.
I called him up, I called my son up. He says, oh, I won't be here until about 9 o'clock. Or something like that. Goodbye.
So, is Larry here?
Community's on a chair.
Yeah. They're coming here, I'll grab them now on stage. They're gonna be,
Do we have to one chair?
probably just one, I don't know if Tina's coming or not. Hey! Well, we're just anticipating you to stand here.
And
John's not.
Our customers, our family that
Yeah.
came into the town,
They're kind of later, huh?
yeah,
Trying to get these.
they're sleeping in. Those things are hard to take,
I know, I need to get the other one.
those not gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can do this.
You guys set this up better than I can.
Not sure we can do this class without six.
Just one.
Yeah, they're all like that. It's all right.
Just one.
There we go. Don't last today.
Here it is.
All righty.
Just one bowl that got theirs. Okay.
Hey,
You don't want to stand up. You don't want to stand up.
Oh, I understand. Vacation, and family, and company.
Well, he came in. Came in this morning.
That's fun. And where are they coming from? Just from yourself on campus?
Sitting for another booster.
Washington.
Oh, take mine. I'll probably, no. I can get my. Oh. Well, let's start. It's 8. I'm sure we'll have some bodies come in a little bit later.
Michelle's coming up.
There he goes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, spring is in the air.
It is.
It's warmer today, isn't it?
It's also
That's
in my-
nice.
It's also in my sinuses.
Uh-oh. All right, we're ready to start yoga. Okay, let's get a moving.
I've lost another.
Oh, she came the other way around. Was that locked? Sorry about that. That's okay.
Joyce, you have blossoms on your fruit tree yet?
Blossoms on your peach tree yet.
Oh, it's loaded. Oh, my peach tree is so pretty. It
We
is.
love summer,
What about yours?
spring.
No, it's a very new plant, it's just ready to start.
Yours are little, you replanted.
I just started.
My peas are like this. I've got about 15, 20 tomato plants.
Oh, yeah, man,
They're
tomato,
like this. They're getting big.
they're not.
My son says, you can go buy that stuff cheaper, Mom. And I said, I know, but it's the fun of it. It's the
It's
creativity.
fun of doing it. It's doing it. I planted some berry raspberries for my son for his birthday yesterday.
So somebody likes raspberries. Huh?
Yes, he does. So anyway, yoga. Here we go. Go ahead and come to the edge of your chair. Last week we did we do 3-part breath or did we do box breathing?
3-part.
We did a 3-part, didn't we? We're gonna do some box breathing, okay? Now I remember thinking I'm like, this is box breathing. It's like I'm creating a box in my mind. And then probably a year or so later, I was reading an article from the military and they talked about box breathing. And I'm like, you mean I didn't create that analogy myself? I thought I was so wonderful. So leave your balls, put them away for a sec up on your chair. Box breathing, okay? But we're gonna add a visualization, okay? So you're on the edge of your seat, you're sitting up as tall as you can. You don't need to strain. So if you find that the mid kind of back gets tight, you're welcome to come down and take a stretch and come back up, okay? This isn't hold yourself rigid. That's not value in yoga. So with your eyes closed, the inhale will be like coming from your hip up to the bottom of your ribs, and then you're gonna pause and take it across the body to the other rib. And then you'll exhale, will go from the rib down to the hip. And then you'll pause and hold that exhale and you'll go across. So we're creating a box, okay? So inhale, pause, and exhale, and pause. So we can count, go ahead and just breathe normal. We can count normal. But you are also really just welcome to keep, maybe go a little bit longer. So maybe instead of 4 counts, you go 5. Or maybe you start to feel tension in your eyes and in the back of your head and you go, nope, I'm just going to do 3, okay? So usually when we feel the tension, is when we're holding. So never, ever, ever, okay? I can't stress that enough. And you know I stress that every time we do a breathing exercise, that you don't have the strain, okay? So go ahead and inhale, and pause, and exhale, and pause, and inhale, and pause, and exhale, and pause. Letting your mind take your breath and move it across your body. I notice that when I do it in my head, if I'm really cued in, that I actually am moving my nose. It's going up, it's going across, it comes down. So it doesn't matter. Whatever you do, take 5 more rounds of this breath. Eyes closed. Inhaling, pausing when you're ready. Exhaling and pausing. When you finish that 5th round, take your mind to the bottom of this rib cage. We're going to do it again, but we're going to move it up to our shoulder. So go ahead and inhale up to the shoulder. Pause across to the other shoulder. Exhale down. And in and pause coming across the ribs. Go ahead and 5 rounds here. Pause. Exhale. And pause. Inhale. Can you see the line you're drawing? Pause. Exhale in your mind. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. One more. Go ahead and breathe normal. We're going to do one more round. This one we're moving from the shoulder up, across the top of the head, back down, across the shoulders. Okay? So in your mind, see if you can see a line. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. 3 more rounds by yourself. When you're done, go ahead and just sit and breathe normal and go ahead and blink your eyes. Well done. So can you feel what happens to your body and your kind of sense of well-being? You just kind of pause and you're like, to me, it's like I've taken and maybe used a magnifying glass, or somehow I've opened my ability to see and to be more aware, to notice what I'm feeling like, right? And so we have these opportunities, and I think it's important we take them. Now, this can be done anywhere, right? You could do this driving in a car, probably wouldn't want to close your eyes. You could do this lying in bed. Maybe you're having a hard time going to sleep at night, okay? There's just all sorts of places. Maybe you're just, I don't know if you ever felt like you just don't have enough time to get everything you've got to do today done. And you just start, that's when I always have an accident. I end up dropping something and making a bigger mess and it's taking more time. Or I fall, I try to step and go over something and because I don't want to take the time to, So letting yourself have that opportunity. The thing that happens, granted, we talk about in yoga about doing it on our little practice mat and then stepping off into the world and doing it here. We're not on our practice mat right now, but we're on our practice chair. So here, if we can do it here and we practice it for a whole hour, for this whole hour we practice paying attention, okay? That's the beauty of what yoga does for us, okay? Later on, we walk into life and life happens and it's not hunky-dory like we think it will be, and we're able to kind of go, wait a minute, I can do my box breathing. That's why the military uses it. They use it all the time. They talk about it in stressful situations. They know that something's coming up. They're on some kind of reconnaissance mission. Yeah, and anything. But we can do this. So, go ahead.
You're getting an MRI.
You're getting an MRI. Oh my gosh. I have not had to do that in one of those enclosed. That does not sound fun at all. It sounds very stressful. To hold still through your whole body and you're just all enclosed. He's speaking from experience. He says do it with an MRI. Okay, so go ahead and just start moving. Now, I want you to close your eyes, and while you move, I want you to find your box breath. We're going to practice this box breath in a couple of different poses today, okay? So move it, okay? As you inhale, go ahead and open the chest. Okay, pause. As you exhale, curl it back, stretch, and then find a moment of pause. And then inhale, and pause, and exhale, and pause. And then go ahead and just breathe normal, and come around. Yeah. Notice that might feel a little awkward, okay? If it does, it's okay. And reverse it, go the other direction. So I'm just trying to hula. It's like my rib cage are a big, massive hula hoop, right? And then pause. Yeah, go ahead and grab your balls again. And start on those feet, okay? Now, we're gonna do a little bit more with the balls today. Just finding, the very first thing we do is find any sensitive areas. And just press into them. And if you find one and it's like, oh, 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 you know, that's a really tender place, box breathe, just one time, right? The inhale, the pause, the exhale, not running away from that, the pause, and then release. So one of the things we tend to do when things get uncomfortable or painful is we want to just stop, run, and hide.
Hold our breath.
Hold our breath, okay? Yeah, we're not gonna do that. So the next one we're gonna do, we are gonna roll through the whole bottom of the foot. Now, if your ball escapes, we'll just find it again. It's not a big thing, but just rolling across. Try and get, so you'll notice that if you just go straight forward and back, it's fine, but see if you can get the outside edge and the inner edge. So you're just kind of swirling around, trying to get the whole circumference of the foot. So one of the things that we're gonna work with the box breathing to pay attention to expanding our bodies today, okay? You're like, I don't want my body to expand, I'm trying to get smaller, I'm dieting. No, that's not what we're talking about. Okay, so stop with the ball right under the ball of the foot. Heel on the ground, okay? See if you can spread your toes as wide as you can. You might not be able to get them you might want to lose socks, guys. You just want to try and spread them as much as you can, just paying attention, but notice what happens to the ankle and up through the calf. Those muscles engage, the shin, okay? And then see if you can just feel them come off the bone. They just are widening. You're just creating, if I was planting my foot in the sand, I'm trying to create the biggest footprint my foot can make in the sand, right? So find that expansion. Notice as you hold that, you start to feel your quadricep engage, okay? And then release, wiggle out, okay? So we're gonna find ourselves trying to find that expansion. Before you do anything else with the ball of your foot, just pause here. If you put your hands on the outside of your chairs and hold on, sometimes it's easier. Try to expand your shoulders. It's not bend my elbows out to the side. Try to just feel your shoulders just push out to the sides of the room, okay? Notice that as you do that, they pull on the back. They just automatically go there. We didn't say pull the shoulders on the back, right? We just wide and expansive there. Go ahead and bend the elbows a little. Hold on and just go wide and see if you can get your neck to go as wide as your shoulders. You know it won't, but you're just expanding. If I flattened my body in the sand right now, my footprint of my body would be wide. And then release. So we're gonna kind of try and find that, okay? It's a marvelous release of energy and tension. So, all right, you're gonna take and put your toe down and just go across the heel. This one, I don't know, I don't feel much here, but I'm barefoot so much that my heels are pretty tough. Okay, now I'd like you to take it and get it right in the arch of the foot. And just, you're gonna lean forward, put weight on your arms, and push down into the arch. roll it to the inner arch so that part of the ball is sticking out. Yeah, that's gonna be a little bit more painful. Okay, maybe you can get the heel and the toe down. You're squishing the ball enough. Maybe not. Maybe that's just way intense. And then come up, you're gonna roll. We actually have an outside arch. Roll it so that you can see ball on the outside of the foot. And push, just squish the ball.
I'll be on my head if I see the outside.
Push. Yeah, and then release. Just change the ball to the other side and pause. Feel this foot. Okay, we've tried to squish it. We've actually expanded. When we push down on something, we're expanding the sides of that foot. Go ahead and just find the tender places on this side. So while you're finding the tender places on this side, I'd like you to put with your hands on your thighs, widen your fingers as wide as they can be. Okay, just as wide as they can be, and see if the wrists can go with it. And then maybe the forearms. Notice that it goes up into the elbows, and once your elbows start to widen, your shoulders pull on the back again. Okay, and then go ahead and release, or go through those hands and just swirl around on the bottom of that foot. So looking for all the different places in the body, okay? In Anusara Yoga, which is what my certification is in, it's called organic energy, coming away from the body, this shining forth out, okay? And we all can do it, okay? You've seen people that are just, this is what they look like, and then you've seen people that are, trying to be this. Okay. All right, plant the heel, the ball of the foot's down, and widen through this foot as much as you can. Maybe the toes can reach. Maybe they curl. See if you can lengthen them along. Maybe you're like, so this broken toe just has no, it's like, I don't know if it was just disjointed, didn't grow back, it doesn't stretch anymore. So if you've got a toe like that, maybe you've got a little hammer toe, just stretch. And you're feeling the widen come through your ankle, engaging in the here. See if you can just expand. Like the muscles are just getting bigger. Yeah, you're gonna feel it up into here. You'll actually feel it into your hip. And then release. Shake it out a little bit, and then put the ball of the foot down and just roll through that heel. The heel kind of helps our hip get some range of motion, and then move it to the arch, okay? You're pushing the whole foot down, move so that you can see some of the ball on the inside of the arch, and just push down. That's where I feel most of the sensation. Yes, that's an ouchie, okay? We're increasing blood flow. And then go ahead and come up, go through, find it on the outside edge, and push down. Ooh.
I thought the tippers pop on the outside.
Yeah, you're kind of like, what? So you're just squishing, you're expanding. Beautifully done. And go ahead, you can put the ball behind you. And just pause, feel this other foot. I don't feel near the difference. Like when I feel the first foot, it's like, wow. When I feel the second foot, it's like, okay, now we're even. It's not a wow as much of a sensation. All right. So we're going to do a couple more things. Grab your block. See if you can put it between your thighs the biggest, widest way. Okay. Squeeze that in. That would be the opposite of what we're doing today. Yes. That's more of a hug in. Okay, so with that hug in, can you still find a width? You'll find that you sit up a little straighter. Yeah, just try to find yourself expanding. You're welcome to take your arms out to the side, maybe even flex the palms up and bend the elbows, push. You're making as big a footprint as you can with your body. Feel it, feel the rib cage expand, feel the waistline expand, feel the shoulders expand, feel the head, the neck, the chest, just everything you can expand, and then release. Notice the energy and the muscle it takes to do that. You've worked, and you kind of feel, oh, wow, okay? The other thing, I'm getting a little hot. So the other thing that this will help you do as you hug in to expand wide. Sorry about that.
Somebody wrote that
Yeah, it was my alarm. It was supposed to go off last night at 8:25.
in. Where the hell that
I
happened?
don't know. So as you expand, try and come again. The hug in, okay, Newton's law, because we're hitting something here, it's the opposite's gonna happen, okay? Notice that as you try to expand, you actually sit up taller. Okay, now change that. Put the block down for a second and just try to sit up taller. Notice the difference in energy. There's nothing wrong with this energy. We want that length, okay? But if you can just feel wider, as women, you never want to feel wider. I don't think men do that. You really want to feel, maybe you want your shoulders to feel wider. Shoulder, right? But that action of just find, and we're going to try and find that. This is some of the intrinsic muscle use that we don't use. Have you ever heard of doing that before, ever?
Widen your body.
Widen your body. No. These intrinsic things we do in yoga. Okay, so we're gonna roll through some joint movement and then we're gonna get up and use our chairs, okay? Because I want you to find this width even as we move.
You know, the feeling I get is I'm expanding my spirit.
Oh, I like that. Expanding your spirit, yeah.
That part.
I'm creating more space for my spirit. So remember last week, did I send it to you?
No.
Oh, I didn't. I will send that, I'll remember. So anaphorus, remember that? I shared that last week. Go ahead and just roll through your shoulders. You can do one at a time if that's a little easier. Make sure you go forward and back. You can totally curl through the spine. So one of the things I find when I do that expansion is that it warms me up pretty quick, okay? Anaphorus says that, and it's kind of, I shared it last week, it's like, it was my first experience with this idea of embodying your spirit in your body. I mean, really feeling it, filling your body with your spirit, not playing small, okay? How often do we play small? We're afraid, we don't want to reach out, we don't, yeah. Let's go, let's come big. Let's come big. What did you say? Crowded places. Yeah, come on. Think about what a mask has done for us. It does this, doesn't it? It doesn't do this. So we're creating this opportunity to just expand. Okay, go ahead and just roll through your hips. Do one side and then the other. Reverse that circle. And then the other side. And reverse that circle. And then go ahead, first side, just pick it up. We're gonna work the thigh while we just roll through the ankle. Yeah. And then other one. So finding both directions, moving. Go ahead and let's move through our wrists. And then our shoulders again. Okay, let's do some side stretches, up and over. Now, let's talk about expansion here. Plant this hand on the chair. Remember the shoulder pulls back. That's just a protection for our shoulder. And then see if you can expand your rib cage up. Let your elbow reach, just expand. Push into your hand, it'll help you get a little bit bigger. Do you remember how you, like in the mornings, do you ever do this anymore where you just in bed and you just kind of go, Yeah.
Then you go back to sleep.
And then you go back to sleep. Other side. Come up and over first. Push down. This shoulder back. Just find that push and reach ribs away. Your hand can be down here. You don't have to have the shoulder all the way up. But find the ribs moving away. And then go up and then open the morning. It's like good morning. Notice how your face and your chest, everything wants to expand and come back. Go ahead and round forward. Tuck your chin. Now, you're in a round, so you're in a curl. You're trying to reach your ribs up, okay? And then I want you to see if you can try and expand the rib cage. Just side to side wide. You'll feel a stretch on your mid-back, maybe in your low back. Breathe. And then go ahead and come all the way up. Grab your block. We're going to come back to this so that we can get that rounded stretch all the way to our low back. So come back. You got to squeeze this. You're going to put your arms down. Expand hips. Notice that you kind of don't curl anymore when you expand your hips. Can you feel how it makes you want to lengthen your spine? But curl. Squeeze the block, but also find the expansion. Tucking the chin, rounding. I'll show you from the side here. With your squeeze, your lean, just expand. Get bigger. Grow wider. And release. So it's one of the best things. Feel how great that feels on your low back and sacrum. One of the things that happens is we'll sit like this often. When we sit like this, we compress our low back. Show you in this direction. When you go wider, this compresses because this is out. So when we hug the block, okay, we hug this way, then it gives that an opportunity to expand. And when we lean forward and around, we're just creating some space in there that sometimes we don't get. So beautifully done. Okay, so pause for a minute. Does anything feel unworked? You're like, wow, really? Go ahead and stand up. They've got chairs. If you're on wood floor or a linoleum floor, make sure that you've got your chair on something that won't slide. Okay. So planting the hands, stretching back. Okay, in your down dog, this is our down dog that we do here. You're holding onto the chair. See if you can take your arms to the side. Okay, and then hug in with your hands, widen the shoulders, okay? Stick your rear end back. You can have bent knees, but widen. Try to stitch your hips. Feel the weight transfer to the outside of the feet, and then push the inside down. Yeah. Yeah. So you're finding that expansion. Go ahead and come up, walk in, roll that out, reach the arms up. And then come back down, plant the hands, push the hands. As you reach back, lengthen, and then widen. Feel the weight, it'll shift to the outside edge of the foot, and then you're gonna push the inner ankles together. You get some work in the hamstring here, and then come all the way back up. Beautifully done. Yes, come all the way back. Reach, stretch, bend the knees. Widen. Can the ribs widen? Can the shoulders widen? Can my head, my feet, hug the ankles in? Widen. And then come up. So that width in our joint, or in our socket joints, our hips or our shoulders is one of the best things. Through all these muscles have tendons, they all run through the hip socket. All these muscles have tendons, they run and attach, okay? So when we create space, that expansion, we create blood flow, okay? It's very healthy. It's the same thing on our shoulders. Our shoulders are just, they're not in the same end of the socket, but they're sitting right there. And tendons run underneath them and through and muscle and all of that just to hold this shoulder in place. So when we expand the shoulder, we create a little bit more space for all that stuff that's in there, right? Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We'll start standing. Go ahead and bring your hands to the heart center. Yeah. Take a deep inhale. And an audible exhale. And then inhale, sweep the arms up. Maybe you can only come here, go to where you can, and then plant the hands and step back. Bend the knees and stretch. Okay, we're gonna do our cat-cow here. Inhale, lift the shoulders so you've got a little bit of a back bend. Okay, you got a round, it's a curl. And widen, and then exhale, tuck tailbone, tuck chin, curl it around. And then come back to lengthen, curl it round, come back to lengthen, curl it round, and then walk it in with the curl, and slowly unwind the spine. Go ahead and do a little neck, side to side. Reach the arms up, and bring the hands to the heart. Take an inhale. And an exhale. Yeah. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, plant the hands and step back. Just bend the knees and stretch and expand. Okay? Then inhale. See if you can tip the sit bones more. Maybe the shoulders in the back of the head. So you're creating a back bend. And then exhale, round. And inhale and curl. And exhale and round, and then walk back up. Uncurl the spine. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. Two more. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, hands down. Plant them on the chair. Step back. And reach. We've got 2 breaths here. Inhale, there's a back bend. Exhale, there's a forward curl. Inhale, there's a back bend. Exhale, there's a forward curl. And walk the feet forward. Totally uncurl. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands here. Take a whole breath. Inhale. And exhale. Beautifully done. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, plant the hands and step back. Stretch and reach. Inhale, there's a curl. Exhale, there's a round. Inhale, there's another little back bend. Exhale, there's a round. Come all the way up. Unwind. Inhale up. And exhale here. Beautifully done. How do you feel? You feel a little sweaty, don't you? Yeah, awesome. Go ahead and come back to your chair.
Men don't sweat.
Men don't sweat. I would have done it. You know, I've got a friend, she just asked for some input. She's going back to do some midwifery with essential oils in an Amish community. And they don't believe in exercise. And I'm like, so maybe you don't call it exercise.
Yeah.
Maybe you call it embodying the spirit. And that this body is this gift. And that we have the opportunity to move and, you know, create with this body. Are you laughing at that?
I was just picturing in my mind what I was going to do this morning before I came. It wasn't pretty.
It wasn't pretty. Okay. All right, grab your strap. So, I want you to think what these straps do when we pull them. They expand, don't they? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. So, in keeping with the same theme, okay, it's like just don't ever come to play small. Play big. You are amazing, just the way you are. So go ahead and pull wide and hold. See if you can bend the elbows. See if you can expand through the shoulders. Okay, I've got the yellow one, which is easier. There's something wrong with this picture.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. And then release, okay? Notice what that expansion does, okay? We're gonna do it again. The arms are just here. They're not high. They're just right at, even a little bit below shoulder width, okay? Just gently pull them wide. Let the elbows bend slightly. Just try to find the expansion. So as you're widening there, you're going to try to widen even to the shoulders. Can you find the ribs even trying to widen? Notice when the ribs try to widen, the belly narrows. Those muscles hold in and gently release. Okay? So, as with anything, okay, if you took this, you don't have to do this, but here it is, this wide, it's 6 inches wide, maybe 5, but I think it's 6. So if you go like this, it narrows, okay? So whenever we're trying to create expansion this way, we're gonna create some inner core strength because this strengthens those muscles of our core. All right. I'm gonna be the dead horse, no I'm not. Go ahead and hold it into one hand. This one's coming up. You're bending the elbow. My thumb's facing down, so I'm grabbing it here. Okay? Yeah, and it's just it can be on the leg, it can be a little bit below the leg, it depends on where you want to go. And you're just gonna stretch it up, expand, and come back. Expand up, and come back. Try to hold, notice my elbow and shoulder aren't really moving. Yeah. Expand and come back. One more, expand. Anybody's muscles burning and come back. Mine are, and I've got the yellow strap.
You say that one more time, I'm gonna strap
Hold down here, change sides. So the elbow's bent, the thumb faces down. Okay, and then just try to straighten and back down. Notice my elbow and shoulder aren't really moving. I'm just creating expansion across the shoulder, the chest. Take it up and back down. Take it up and back down. A few more. Up. And down, and up, and down, and release. And just roll through those shoulders. Let's take it behind us. Okay, go ahead and grab it so that your thumbs are now facing outward. You're gonna hit up. Okay? And then narrow your stance so that there's no stretch, but my hands are just right here. There's no stretch in the strap. The hands are just here with my thumbs facing out. Okay? And then the shoulders, they want to go forward. Hold them up and around. Squeeze them together. And then you're just going to pull it wide and back. Elbows together. Wide and back. Wide. Feel the expansions. Feel your rib cage expand. And back. So see if while you expand the arms, you can also let this expand. Expand, come back. Expand, come back. One of the things we don't do sometimes as we age and release. Shake that out. Okay? We'll do one more. Unless we work out and do weights, all we really do is maybe some gardening work, but to actually build muscle in the shoulder, maybe we lift our groceries. There just isn't. I know, all the time. And here we go again. So I'm pulling the shoulders back, and then I'm trying to expand and back in, elbows in. Expand, elbows in. Expand, elbows in. Expand, elbows in. Last one. Expand, hold. See if you can expand rib cage, hips, head. Make a bigger blueprint, a bigger footprint, and release. Beautifully done. And just hang those up and roll through that. That's a really good exercise for our shoulders, okay? We really got with this, and then these, and then these. We're kind of got the whole shoulder up above on these deltoids. And we got some back ones too.
My shoulders, I can't roll it out.
Yeah,
I can't get my head in.
any further.
I can't put it
Yeah.
out and flat. I don't know.
It just doesn't. Well, it's just, I would guess there's some scar tissue in there now that just doesn't move. That's the one thing that, in talking about these Amish women and moving, our bodies are meant to move. They were created to move. And when we, for whatever reason, an injury, a broken something, and we stop moving, lazy, that's not you guys. But, you become a couch potato, you sit at your desk, and then you're too tired to do anything else. Our body adapts to the shapes of what we do. And if we don't do stuff and move and find this expansion, and so really overall, it's like, don't play small, okay? We've only got this many years, and you don't know this, but I'm sitting in a room of amazing people that are all over 70, and they're moving, and they're living this life that's incredible. And so I just wanted to grow up to be like that.
Debbie, my mom was 98 years old when she died. She never did quit doing it.
Yeah.
She never
98, her mom passed away and never quit. I know. And we may hurt more.
And she was thin.
Yeah, we may hurt more. We may, have to change. I've had to change a lot with the hip injury, but I'm still kind of creating this range of motion because that's what that hip's designed to do, okay? All right, let's move to the floor. Go ahead and on your backs, windshield wipers, okay? I'm gonna turn lights off and then I'll be back to the show.
Here's the calls, babe. Here's the calls.
Yeah, go ahead and lie down. You're catching. Yeah, move your chair out of the way if you need to. We've done these before. You can do them in your chair. So if you need to, you can just turn, and you're just getting a twist. We didn't do a ton of twisting today. Our spine is also meant to revolve, but there's only so much you can do in an hour. So I'll move a little sideways so you can see me side to side. Hang on, before I get down, I'm going to hand you. I'm going to use these again. Go ahead and just windshield wipers side to side. That way for you.
That for you.
Yep, I'm gonna get it so it actually feels so good. There we go. That's a lot of it. So bend your knees. Okay, knees point to the ceiling, and then you're going side to side. You know what windshield wipers look on your car? That's what we're doing here. You're just finding that side to side motion. And then go ahead and when the knees go one direction, look the other. So the entire spine is like a wet dishcloth. Have you ever not wrung out your dishcloth and left it sitting in the sink? Ooh, they smell horrid. So we want to wring them out and get all the extra moisture out. So let your head go opposite your knees. Yeah, breathing deeply. Continuing. When the knees go one direction, you look the other. Take the knees over to one side and then the other side. And one side and then the other side. And one side and then the other side.
Debbie, when I move my head back and forth, there's one spot right here that is sore. It's been for 3 weeks. And I think, what is it?
Did you bump it?
And it's not like it's a surface.
It's inside.
It's inside.
So if you add a blanket,
Does it hurt? Well, I tried to blend it. I don't think it's not outside. Because that's what I've done the first week or something.
try that, is that okay?
That's help.
That's just taking and supporting the neck.
Yeah, I think it's a neck.
Yeah. Great question.
Look at that.
Yeah.
More like a nerve.
Okay, so we're actually going to do some stretching with our bands today on our legs. We've expanded. We're going to do the same thing here. So you're going to grab one of your feet and see, notice how I've gone wide with my strap. Some straps are easier to do that with. Okay, you want to try and get this knee straight, the one that's in the air. Now, as we age, we also don't lift our feet up above our heads much, okay? So keeping this other foot planted, okay? It's not, this knee's not gonna run around, it's gonna stay planted. Reach up, grab, and just pull down with your elbows. And then you're just gonna find some range of motion, okay? Go ahead and just do that. I mean, let it go. You've got the opportunity to really hold, and you've got this strap that's gonna bring it back up when you put it down. Gotta talk to Danny about some new straps. But we're down to just 4 of the blue ones from 12.
Is that the 4 of these?
Yeah. You know we have a ton more. I need to go take a trip downstairs. Okay, let it go for a minute.
Well, started out that way.
So, I know that most of you have straps at home because you got them from me. So, I would suggest some of maybe the homework today is maybe you get down. Maybe you do this in bed. You know, you've got to remember that you've got a mattress that's not going to be a real firm support. But this is great movement. Now, I want you to hold the legs still. Up in the air, hold it still. Okay? And then release your straps. And then I want you to take and turn the toes in, making the whole leg rotate inward. So it kind of will look like this. The toes will move towards the midline, the heel moves out, but it's not just an ankle move. It's the whole leg is rotating in. Reach up and grab the strap and pull it down again. Okay, and then tiny slight bend in this lifted leg. This leg's still bent, sorry, I had mine down. And then I want you to try to just You're not moving your ankle or your calf wider. You're going to try and move the hip out. Expand the hip out. You're going to feel some pressure right here. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Breathe. So with this leg up, try to rotate the whole leg in. Oh, yeah. 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 Can you feel that on the outside of the hip?
Yeah.
Breathe. Yeah. And then just release. Okay. Does that make sense? So it's the whole leg. Oh, the whole leg. Yeah. Oh.
All right.
Yeah. Sometimes that's kind of a yeah, the whole leg. Yeah. And then go ahead and rotate the whole leg out. Yeah. Beautifully done. And you can do a little bit of movement with it, rotate it out. So what are we doing? You might ask. And then go ahead and release and switch sides. Okay? I'm going to just kind of, if you want, this is one you can totally pause and rewind and come back. But one of the things we're doing, I'm going to show you here so that you can see my foot, is this is the rotation that the hip and the thigh makes. Does anybody, can you feel how hard it is to turn it in? There's some resistance in the outside of that hip, okay? That rotation is vital for our hips. That's the movement. If you think about it, go ahead and relax. If you take your foot up and out of the car, that's of this rotation. When I pull it back in from the car, it's of that rotation, okay? That is what's going to help us be able to go side to side. One of the things I find with a lot of older people is their movement is forward and back. There's not much side to side movement. Any of you ever done dancing? Dancing. You've been dancing, like waltzing. There's side to side movement, right? Yeah. Beautifully done. Nice work. So this is one, these straps on our feet is one that really can help the hip socket. The other thing this does is because I'm pulling down with the strap, I'm pulling the femur bone back into the socket. A lot of our movement extends it out of the socket. We want it in the socket as we work it. We want to have that strength, okay? Go ahead and lose your strap. If you've done both legs, if you're like, well, Debbie, you didn't do both legs, I'm teaching. Go ahead and just pause. I'd like you to plant your feet. We're going to try it, just a bridge pose. Just up and down. Knees are bent. Just where, not overbent if you've got soreness in the knees. Elbows plant into the floor. Just go ahead and let your hands be up in the air. I like to push into my elbows and my head and lift my shoulders and just pull the shoulders on the back and then blend them back down. And then go ahead and just push into your feet, roll up, a supported bridge pose. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, try to roll up. Exhale, back down. Don't look side to side here. When you're up, just keep the head straight up. It's better on the neck and back down. Okay, you've got 3 more. And up and back down. Trying to lift the hips up and get them back down. Yeah, and release. Beautifully done. See if you can hug your knees into your chest and just rock on your back, side to side. So hug the knees in. I'm going to come help you hug your knees here. That won't. Just hug them in. Just rock side to side. Yeah.
The hips.
Yeah. That feel good on your back. On that low back. come into Shavasana. Joyce, I'm going to help you do that same pattern. Oh, there you go. I'm going to bring these down. Oops, there more. There you go. That okay? Okay. So it's easy to your chest. Okay, be careful with that one. Just hug. And you reach around. Okay. And then show up side to side. When's the last time you did this? We just don't. Yeah. And then she goes.
She's gonna see weird things going on in our backyard.
There you go. All right. How's that really feel? How's that mean? Good.
It's better, it is every day. Oh, am I taking ibuprofen? Oh my gosh, it's a huge shit.
Yeah, it does.
Huge shit.
It does. All righty. So Shavasana, dead corpse pose. Let everything go. Right here, just let all of your maybe anxiety, take some deep breaths, and then just let yourself relax. You will have thoughts come. Our brain is meant to be a thinking machine, okay? When I first heard about meditation, I really thought it meant I had to, you don't think of anything. And I'm like, but I'm constantly thinking of something, and it drove me nuts. And then I realized that, no, you'll have those thoughts, you're just not gonna dwell on them. You're gonna recognize, no, and move it right on past. Letting the breath be long and slow. And then get to a point where you're not even focusing on the breath. It's just the natural, shallow, sleeping breath. Each one of us has something to offer in this world. To me, the benefit of the moving and the practice of the expansion of playing big is not living in fear, not living in a place of limitation. And that doesn't mean that we won't have limitations. We will have some limitations. But do we, well, I'm just gonna go home if I can't play big, if I can't play that way, right? No. We can still be the very best with every limitation that comes. Yoga teaches us to surrender. Sometimes it's just our will or our idea of what something needs to look like or be like. So if you have the opportunity to stay a little longer, go ahead and stay here. If you need to get going, it's been our hour. Go ahead and ring. I'm just gonna end right here and leave you where you're at. Have a wonderful day, marvelous week. Remember your box breathing whenever you can. Namaste.
We've got
Yep, you got company at the house.
Yeah.
Came in from Washington.
That's so awesome. Really well done today, guys.